Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my Mega Man Legacy Collection perspective. Mega Man Legacy Collection perspective. Yes, this is the first one with 1 through 6, and I have a weird relationship with Mega Man. I had played some of an X1 on the PC long ago, which I'm now kind of revisiting now because of how cheap the collections were. I got the first collection, Legacy Collection 2, and Mega Man X Legacy Collection, the first one. I beat these, started around Christmas Day, and just got through all 6 of them yesterday. I enjoyed those more than the Mega Man X1, mainly because after learning the systems from the classic one, where you don't really increase your health or whatnot, you do go and find some kind of things to kind of get like this beats kind of thing, which is another kind of weapon in Mega Man's arsenal. But most of the time you would fight all of the different kind of bosses. You would get their kind of signature weapons, which would then be pretty much a weakness for certain kind of other bosses. Certain ones were kind of more annoying than others, but I was able to almost beat them within a certain kind of like a day or one or whatnot. When they're done well and they stick to a good formula, it works pretty well. Main real kind of issues I would have would be the controllability of Rush when he was as a jet. Certain earlier ones you had a little bit more freedom of control for him before like older one, like the ones that came afterwards. I know it sounds like backwards, which it should be like you would have less control in the beginning, but as I was going through, I was like, what the fuck? It was just so much kind of harder to control before we then got to the last one, and they're like, fuck it, we're just going to have it put onto Iron Man kind of armor, kind of on Mega Man, and make it so that way it doesn't take energy to replenish it. I understand that was done to probably kind of put another kind of aspect, and they didn't know what else to kind of code it in for before they got to the 6th one and been like, hey, we can code this differently so that way it doesn't take the stuff that the weapon needs. Like, yes, thank you. That was a very good quality of life improvement. 6 was just weird because of like the dude's like, I'm not Wily. It's like, yeah, I'm Wily. I did like seeing the introduction of Proto Man. I kind of remember a TV show, and I thought like Proto Man was evil, but he kind of was saved by Dr. Wily as I was kind of like looking through most of the stuff that was going on in the plot, because there's not much plot other than like Dr. Light's the good doctor, Dr. Wily's the evil doctor, we've got to fight these robots and stop his plans for world domination, and it just kind of continues on. The X series goes a little bit of a different kind of route and brings in like Reploids and freedom of thought and everything like that, and actual sentience in regards to what's going on with the robots, which is kind of cool. However, the aspect I don't like in that one is that you have to hunt for like health upgrades and stuff, which we'll kind of see what kind of goes on with that. That's kind of getting ahead of myself. But in this one, I liked going through the platforming and everything like that. I remember seeing some people doing Let's Plays on this and like, okay, what kind of crash outs are going to be going on with this? Even though I did get into like some stymied points of like certain bosses and everything, once I got into their kind of pattern and everything like that, I would be good to go. It wasn't like I was stuck on days on a certain kind of boss, which I'm glad. It's more like that I've learned, and like my gaming experience has helped me kind of go through with it and be like, oh, okay, I got through these pretty quickly, but it's also like I understand how to look at the boss kind of mechanics and everything. Not that these are kind of simplistic games, mind you. They would kind of fucking frustrate any kind of smaller kids, so I could be like, yeah, you could do these as like boss rushers kind of platformers to get their feet wet, but be very careful and make sure that you work, like you understand how the kid is, because I'd almost be, it's like saying, oh yeah, let's just give them Dark Souls. It's like, some kids will latch onto that, and some will just fucking rage quit because it's just built to be frustrating. And there's certain levels on here that are just built to be frustrating as shit. Any kind of like weird block levels, when you're trying to figure out the blocks, how they come into existence and stuff like that. Mainly ice ones. things that'll drop out from under you. Be very careful on those. The thing is, since I went through them so quickly, it's not that they stop kind of busting out, but it's just more like, oh, okay, they follow the same kind of patterns with certain kind of ones. Though, the ones in the sixth one, I think, it's like, Yamato, dude, Silver Tomahawk, what the fuck is kind of going on? But I mean, there's only so many kind of robots that you can get. Like the first ones, the first robot master you're going up against, yeah, they kind of got the distinct as like, oh, we did pretty well in this. Cut Man and everything, Guts Man and all that. And then you're kind of like going up there, it's like, oh shit. Now, these are also built differently for kind of more modern systems. Now, I played this on Steam. I really liked the save and loading kind of feature. If I didn't have that, my frustration would probably be through the roof. I didn't go for any high scores or anything. I went for whatever things that would actually kind of help out. Going for like the beat weapon, or any kind of like energy cores, or having more lives or whatnot. So that I took that really takes the friction out of it for kind of like crash out and kind of things. You're like, what the fuck are you sitting here for, not saying that you got any like crash outs or fucking rage quitting kind of stuff? It's like, because of how I was able to play it, and also being able to look up certain kind of things of like, what am I doing wrong here? Is there another kind of thing? It's like, oh, okay, cool. Now that's how I play. I don't want to completely just like waste my time of like, oh, I'm completely doing this wrong or not achieving the objective that I kind of want. That's how I game. If you don't like that, that's cool, and pretty much just listen to me doing it the wrong way to make sure that you're like, yeah, you're a stupid motherfucker, as in me, or, oh, okay, if I did it this way, this would be more fun for me. See, that's the kind of weird thing that can happen. Sometimes if you see someone reviewing something that you either like or dislike, you can either be like, I'm going to avoid that because they like it, or I'm going to go for it because they like it, or avoid it because they hate it, or go for it because they hate it. It can be useful in any kind of instance. But I just had fun kind of like going through the levels and achieving it. I didn't use any cheats. Yeah, I just figured out what was kind of going on. Well, I tended to do certain kind of glitch kind of things, but it was just like, I don't know what the fuck's kind of going on here, and just fucking did it myself and be like, alright, cool. The wily ones, after a certain kind of point, most of their kind of thoughtful boss designs go into the robot masters. Wily stuff towards the end, it's just like, and evidently I have to watch out for that in the X collection because of the saving feature. I gotta like do the end part all in one session. But the wily ones are usually the least interesting boss fights. Like, you don't go, like, you fight all the bosses once, and then you have to fight the bosses again at the end, which is definitely kind of a padding kind of mechanism. Instead, I would have rather them actually utilized Wily doing certain kind of ones where he would have a weakness. That is one of the weapons that you've got, but like Wily would fight in a way that is different than the boss that we had actually fought. Instead of like, I think that would have been a better kind of design. Instead of being like, you fight your robot bosses, you get your weapons. You then go through these other kind of stupid things. It felt more padding-ish, where you go through certain kind of castles, and in later games, you go through kind of multiple castles, where you got these mini-bosses that, well, not mini-bosses, they are actual bosses, but they definitely feel like more mini-bosses, checkpoint, choke points, gateways, at certain kind of points, where they at least made attempts of different kind of boss design, rather than the, you go all the way to the end and you get into the boss room and you fight the boss. I mean, you still get into the boss room, but they have different kind of mechanics than the robot masters that we've already fought. It just kind of got ridiculous on certain kind of things where it's like, oh, okay, we go through Wily's castle. And it's like, okay, we go through this other castle, and then we go through Wily's castle. You're kind of padding your shit out, and you're kind of running into the roadblocks of like, I don't know if I can come up with any more kind of different kind of mechanics for boss battles, so and evidently Capcom was being kind of stupid on certain kind of things and having like yearly releases. It's like, yeah, there's Alright, show me, motherfucker. Kenji. Yes. Show me. Let's see. History? Let's see. So, 87 for Mega Man 1, 88 for Mega Man 2, 90 for 3, 91 for 4, 92 for 5, 93 for 6, 95 for 7, 96 for 8. And then we got the biggest kind of jump to 2008 for 9, 2010 for 10, and 2018 for 11. Where are the X's, you bastard? Well, that's the main classic one. And that's the funny thing. I found myself liking the classic more. That Game Boy Advance one. I did do Mega Man and Bass, but I didn't really do much. I was like, eh. And then, while that's still going on, we've got X in 93, X2 in 94, X3 in 95, X4 in 97, X5 in 2000, X6 in 2001, X7 in 20, no, not that long, 2003, X8 in 2004, and then that's where we're kind of stopped at the moment for that. So, hopefully Capcom has kind of like reined themselves in on certain things. Wait a minute, there's also a Mega Man 11. Where the fuck am I at? Are you not updated enough for that? Mega Man 11 in 2018. So, they did space the games out more, but I can understand weird kind of problems cropping up on this because they fucking Call of Duty'd Assassin's Creed this motherfucker that ain't about his business. Like, pump Mega Man out. It's like, yeah, but you gotta give him the time. And then you're probably like, most of these are on the NES, SNES, that kind of realm. So it's like, okay, if you're if you've got a longer kind of lasting platform, you might be able to do that more. And like, you know how to like, if you're able to understand the system you're developing for, you're fine on that kind of thing. You get into that kind of groove, but that's still not a good thing because there's only so many times you can pump out Robot Masters before it's like, I need a new one next year. Alright, fuck it. Sport Man and Baked Bean Boy. How's that going? We're at Mega Man 23. Yeah, what else you fucking want? I'm gonna have to start going into esoteric concepts now. The idea of a kumquat. The feeling of purple. But what does it do? I don't know, you wanted an idea! And you're only giving me... Okay, if you're doing it year to year, they probably got like 3 months to make it, 6 months to polish it, and maybe another 6 to make sure they hammer it out enough that it works well enough to get shut out. That's why we also need dedicated hardware systems or stuff. Or standardized kind of approaches. We're really gonna run into those kind of problems once all of the consoles turn into kind of PC kind of things. It's like, alright, they're technically this kind of spec, but good luck to you. There's a whole lot of different kind of issues, but this thinking about, like, talking about Mega Man like this, and then kind of thinking it's like, oh, okay. But I did like learning more about Proto Man because I liked his kind of design and how he's actually an ally to Mega Man with stuff kind of going on. Like the first ones pretty much have the best kind of robot masters, and then I like seeing what they kind of do with having Rush kind of work with Mega Man to help him throughout the stages and all that. And then just kind of like going through and beating each stage. Like, even though I had certain kind of troubles for things, I didn't get, like, my ass pushed in so much that I'm like, I fucking hated this level. Like, I got annoyed on certain kind of ones. It's like, this level kind of just annoys me. But I got through it. But I got through it in a better kind of way because I'm able to save and load at certain kind of things. So that way I didn't lose all my lives and have to start all the beginning again or get screwed over and continue to keep doing that. That took out a lot of weird pain and frictions. And since that's my experience, that is a complete and utter change why other people had that different kind of friction, because they either had to get certain kind of point levels or whatnot. So even though I'm like, oh, I had a pretty chill time, and you could sit there and be like, I fucking didn't, and I'm like, yeah, you fucking didn't, because I'll see how you did. I'll be like, that's horrendous. I would never play those that way. Holy fucking shit. You good. You're better than me. That's fine. That's fine. I'll acknowledge that. If you've got to do it in those kind of ways and, like, do them in one sitting or whatnot, and make sure that your shit doesn't, like, kick your own ass. But I also have those kind of worries about the PC as well, because of whatever updates kind of happen. Because you never know if it's going to fucking try and, like, do some weird shit that'll just fucking make one of your folders not open because Windows is being a complete and utter dick again. Whether be it them trying to make OneDrive completely and utterly turn on at every inconceivable instance. Because, for the love of fuck, I just turned off my PC and turned it back on, and guess what? I fucking told you to unlink that shit. Stop that shit. But we're gonna shove AI in that shit. I gotta experiment with Linux. Looking into Pop OS and stuff like that and seeing what kind of going on. I know they released... I know it's weird to kind of have this, but when you're talking about games now, you have to talk about the operating system on a certain kind of level, because if you have to fight the operating system, fuck. That's stupid. Now, I didn't have to fight the operating system with this. No real issues. I played it on... whenever I do it on my PC, I test it on the SSD first, because I install it there because it's faster. And then I also test it on a hard disk, because that's my data storage, and sometimes if something decides to go, hey, motherfucker, I'm going to take your fucking SSD out. Okay, I could still play this on my hard drive if I have to make sure. Yeah, load times can be weird and shit, but it's not that. Jesus Christ, it's almost 40 fucking years old at this point. Nope. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Yes, it's 2026. Next year. Holy shit. 40 years. They better do some interesting shit for Mega Man then. But, no, it ran pretty well. Any kind of weirdness that I saw, I think, was more of the game itself, because of how old it is and what was kind of going on with it, rather than the game as playing on my PC. So I would definitely recommend it on PC if you got it. If you don't have that and instead have a console, look in any end. Okay, that's Mega Man. Legacy Collection. What are you on, you fuck? No. Alright, that's on Switch. Show me. PS4, Windows, Xbox One, and then also 3DS. Ports for the Switch as well. So, look whatever consoles you have and whatnot. If you're into the platforming and the kind of combat there, I think you'll have a good time, depending upon how you play it and what limitations you put on yourselves. If you use the kind of modern kind of stuff, I think you'll have less friction, but that doesn't mean it'll always be a better kind of option for you. Just see how it kind of works for you. Look at it, see if you're like, oh god, that looks fucking disgusting. I want prettier games. It's like, okay, this isn't going to be a pretty game. Nope. This is an old one, and if you're into the old ones and want a different kind of way that works out, cool. If you don't, that's fine. If you want cinematic 4K eye-melting fucking shit, this isn't it, and that's alright. We'll see how that works out when GPUs are like as much as a fucking PC build. And they don't work that well because they've just decided to make shittier shit and say, let's make AI scale this up. Sorry, it's... The card should be able to fucking do it. Like, it should have the horsepower in and of itself to be like, okay, you want to play this? Like, if you look at it and you look at the specs, it's like, it's got all this shit. It's like, that fucking thing should run a game at 4K at 120, and it shouldn't be fucking doing shit. It should be able to handle that shit and be like, yes, do you want fries with that, motherfucker? It's like, I'll take them if you got them. And then it's just like, poo, poo, shooting fries at your head. Yes, strange tangents, but, I like these. I had a lot of fun with them. Like, it's weird. I would have thought I would have had more fun with Baldur's Gate 3, but I had fun with these because of the puzzling kind of aspects and how I was able to control how I wanted to play. So, yeah, I would recommend it, but if it doesn't sound like your cup of tea, that's quite alright as well. So those are my opinions on the collection. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.